So thank you all for being here today with us and for this incredible ride of a film. I wanted to start by asking, just a bit of housekeeping. There is a roving mic. I'll just start the questions, and then there will be a mic in case you have any questions that you want to ask these guys. I'll start by asking you guys, you three. In the film, there are several references to previous treaties, accords, and G7, G6 meetings. How much time did you spend in G7 world politics kind of lore in terms of research when you were writing the film?
Some time. Like the list of previous G7 summits is accurate. You know, but that's easy to look up. You could look that up.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then write it down, and then make Nikki say it, which we did. And so she asked her. She's the one who memorized it.
But that was 20 seconds worth of research.
Yeah, but we did spend a lot of time. Like I read a lot of their statements.
That's. I thought that you had gone deeper into just.
There's not much in them usually, to be perfectly honest. Well, I mean, it doesn't go without saying, I guess, that their sayings would not, or their statements would not have much in the way of content. But it is the case that they don't have much. Like they say things about the private sector and encouraging investment and
synergy.
Stuff, but they don't say much. But I mean, you know, that's not their job. That's the job of these summits, to say anything. It's a kind of pageantry, obviously.
Yes.
Propaganda. You know, when a leader is photographed with another world leader, it confers domestic legitimacy on them. It just makes them look, ooh, that is a leader. Look, they're with the other leaders. I think that's the only reason they do it.
Fair enough. And I also wanted to ask you about the bog bodies, because it's a beautiful dialogue with you know, I mean, I think G7 summit, I think bog bodies, perfectly logical. So I wanted to tell you about like how did that aspect come into the story.
Yeah, go ahead, Gail.
Well, we just saw a little documentary on bog bodies a few years ago, and saying, "Well, why don't we put that in our stupid movie?" But we saw like some archaeologists like lifting up a bog body and putting it on a gurney, and the texture of it was so gelatinous and disgusting that we thought it just was very appealing to us, and we were in love. They're boneless. Yeah, the bones have dissolved, like they say in the movie. So it's just like gelatinous skin, and it's just a weird, disgusting thing.
No,
And a metaphor.
Yeah. I'd vote for that bog body. Yeah.
Then I wanted to ask Cate, Nikki, and Charles. G7 summits, frankly, most public-facing political gatherings feel very performative, like stock photos come to life. So I was wondering, how was your work towards achieving this kind of body language that you're like, okay, here we are. You know, how was that work?
Well, you know, Guy and Evan and Galen, they had a lot of footage for us to look at, and actually it is really funny when you just look at it. And so, you know, we weren't kind of sending it up. I certainly wasn't. I was trying as accurately as I could to emulate it. I think there is something just hard about any sort of presentation to the media or to the public where you're trying to be natural.
Yeah, exactly, like now.
Exactly that. And so it's, you know, it lends itself to satirizing.
Well, listen, I'm an actor for hire. And I mean, when I'm sent a script as bizarre as this, I kind of do what I'm told, really. You know, I mean, really, if I'll try to be serious for a minute, or a second or two, but, you know, I mean, if you look at the politics of Western democracies in the last 3 or 4 years, they are surrealistic. This is a surrealistic film. And I think it reflects the political situation pretty accurately, really. But as for my contribution to it, I read the lines and try not to fall over the furniture.
And was it very difficult to master your accent?
The accent. Oh, yes.
Don't go there.
Yeah. If you want to talk about the accent, ask one of these three. They'll explain it to you because I can't.
I have to apologize for my language right away, but the last time I saw Charles, he said, if someone asks me about that accent one more time, I'm going to fucking kill you. But I promised him that I would explain the accent as much as we can to the public and his relationship to it.
And it doesn't make any sense. So
No, but when we three were in the writer's room and we thought to do this G7 movie, the first idea we had was, because American presidents have been done to death, we feel, in movies, and we just thought, and the American president is British, period. That was our first idea. We didn't ask each other, well, why? Or how do we put that over or anything? It just seemed, yes, right. So we've got our first idea is a good, solid one. And we were on our way. And of course, Charles asked a bit about it. And then he got asked a lot about it at Cannes. And I promised him that I would explain that it is baked into the script that the actor's British. It's not that Charles can't do an American accent, or that he's too lazy to do an American accent, or he just, for some reason known only to him, I will not do an American accent. I'll take the part, but I'm not doing an American accent. It was all us. So, but we don't know why. Is that fair enough? I know I still have to work my way back into Charles's trust, and I may never. But anyway, I love Charles, and I think there is no one on the planet that could be more presidential than Charles Dance.
Indeed.
Thank you, Charles. I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
And now I had a question for Stefan. The film has kind of this B-movie, very kind of 70s. There's almost, especially around Hilda, because she has the lighter hair, there's almost like a bit of a halo around her. How did you work to kind of, a halo around like the characters with the background? How did you work to kind of achieve this kind of almost B-movie aesthetic with
mine was contractual, so.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, I tried very hard not to achieve a B-movie look, of course.
But it's an excellent default position, yeah.
No, but of course I've seen our directors' films, all of them, and I found lots of inspiration in their work, and we sat together. It was like this kind of collage-y idea. We had lots of meetings, watching films for references. We watched The Seven Samurai for like blocking and staging by Kurosawa. And I think it just kind of was a stream of visual ideas and thoughts, which I kind of somehow compressed in my mind into what you've seen. I think it just kind of was a very organic process to find the visual style of the film. Yeah.
And now, thanks to you, viewers will be forever confusing Kurosawa's Seven Samurai and our G7 movie. The collaborative, well, I guess people wonder how three directors act on set, but really the filmmaking process starts at conception for us, and we sit in a writer's room, and the writing and the style and the feel of the film is very much, a lot of it's determined there. And so and then in the planning stage and prep and in casting, we've had so many discussions, and we even lived together in Hungary while we shot this. And so a lot of the, sure, you have to make, we shared the bathroom. We had, of course, when you're making a movie, you still have to make a million decisions on the fly. And I've found that it sort of just evolved, that Evan worked the most with the actors in a one-on-one basis, but we all gathered around the monitor together and discussed things. And some of the actors don't like looking at monitors, some do, and they check out their performances. And so we'd keep doing takes until everyone was happy. But we just tend to agree, and we have a real shorthand because we watch a lot of movies together, read similar books. It's not an exact overlap, but we just have a lot of quick shorthand for how things are going, and so it's. I've always wondered how, say, the Coens work together, and I've no idea, and I kind of like not knowing exactly. So I've just broken a promise to myself and sort of given you a hint of what it's like. But it's a bit different on each picture. It's been radically different in our earlier collaborations, so we'll see. But it's working out pretty well. We're happy enough anyway.
Oh, Denis had a body double, which we called Floppy, and sometimes because it was so dark, you couldn't tell if it was Denis in the wheelbarrow or Floppy, and that was. But there was a particular moment, you know, when they're walking along and they see the bog body up the top of a tree, and they poke it, and a little bit of wee comes out. It was the noise, and it was also the noise that made, and the noise when they're pleasuring themselves. I never want to hear again in my life. That was one of the most disgusting sounds I have ever heard in my life.
I want to add about Floppy. Floppy was not acting exactly the way we wanted to, because Floppy was a crummy dummy. And but Denis, God bless him,
It was amazing.
He adjusted his performance to match Floppy's. So that on a wide shot, when Floppy's in a wheelbarrow, because it would have been too uncomfortable to spend 10 hours in a wheelbarrow, so for the wide shots you use Floppy, but Denis would carefully observe. He's an unbelievable observer of humans, but of dummies too. And he actually, to help the editor match the wide shot to the close-ups, he had a way of flopping exactly like this dummy. It was one of the most remarkable life-imitating inert death that I've ever seen. So anyway.
Yeah, the question doesn't annoy me, but certain things around the question annoy me because we weren't thinking of, we can let the actors, the three of them that are here, speak for themselves. We were not, the other four were not willing to come here, yeah. No, we were not thinking of particular world leaders at all, ever, I don't think. What people do with Cate's character, for example, Hilda. Hilda's a German woman chancellor, and people go, "Oh, it's like Angela Merkel," because that's the only German woman they know about. So it's just projection. I'm a little annoyed about it, I guess. But it's the same for the other leaders. I don't think there's anything particularly.
Like Joe Biden didn't get sleepy till
after we wrote this.
We started shooting.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
I won't take British for another few years.
Yeah,
exactly. And Justin Trudeau didn't go through his marital problems weren't. He didn't separate from his wife until after we wrote this script, and we're already shooting it. We could tell there's something in the air with those things. So no, there's no specific.
Right. Yeah.
There's no. From us, there was no specific models for politicians. It was a kind of a generalizing.
I didn't even do a German accent.
No,
Exactly.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one notices that. Everyone's thinking about Charles's accent.
I believe that's all the time we have, but
Thank you so
all
much.
again so much for being here. Thank you.